Hi YouTube, what's going on? Your boy is back with another reaction, and today we have a video from Sponge Truths, the SpongeBob episode no one understands. It's caught my eye because I love SpongeBob. Actually, hold on, where? SpongeBob, we're back. Got Squidward, Patrick on that side. Fucking love SpongeBob, bro. So let's see what he's talking about. The episode nobody understands. Honestly, niggas don't understand half a fucking SpongeBob episode. So
SpongeBob SquarePants is weird. We all know that.
yeah.
Talking fish, underwater campfires, Bubble Buddy, the show's built on nonsense. But then there's SB 129, the episode that confused everyone when it first came out. An episode so surreal, so glitched, so out of place, fans still can't agree on what it even means. Some
Nothing.
say it's a time
It's a
travel
SpongeBob
episode
episode.
gone wrong. Others think it's a metaphor for nihilism. And yeah, there's even a theory that Squidward dies midway through the episode. But what if none of those theories tell the whole story? Because the more
You know what? You just gonna have to.
I rewatched it, the more I
gotta
realized
watch,
something.
'cause-
This episode
What?
does make sense, you just have to know where to look. So I went back, watched every frame, and when I started lining up the
Great
details
producer
with
tag
some
came from that
forgotten
episode.
episodes and overlooked science, I found something no one was talking about. Because once you connect all the dots, it all makes sense. A theory that doesn't just explain the episode, it explains why Squidward is the way he is. We have
He's
to go
a
all the way
dick,
back.
right?
Not just to the future, but to where it all started. The episode opens up with Squidward getting interrupted from his morning clarinet routine because SpongeBob and Patrick won't let.
That's crazy. Throw the doom. Squidward. Yo, gang. What is this show not telling us about you?
Him be, as usual. So desperate for silence, Squidward runs off to the Krusty Krab, sneaks into the walk-in freezer, and slams the door shut.
Squidward! Well, he's not here. I'll bet that eager beaver's already down at Jellyfish Field.
That's how Squidward ends up frozen for 2,000 years. But here's
Damn.
the weird part. Why hasn't anyone opened this freezer in 2 millennia? Has no one ever restocked anything at the Krusty Krab? And even if they don't, Squidward's face is literally frozen in the door's window. Someone
Yeah, that didn't like scare the shit out of somebody. Bro, if I was working somewhere and somebody had got trapped in the freezer and I saw that, I think I would shit myself. That's fucking terrifying.
must have noticed it. But nope, Squidward wakes up in the year 4017. Bikini Bottom is changed, and everything's chrome. And the first creature he met is Spongetron, a robotic SpongeBob with rocket legs and 486 other versions of himself. You see, that detail always felt weird to me. This future has kept SpongeBob for centuries. Like, he
Why?
became something worth preserving. Squidward naturally panicked and asked to get back home right away. Spongetron points him towards a time machine at the end of the hallway because apparently time travel just exists now? Like,
Hey,
next
bro,
to the
it's
can opener
SpongeBob.
room. Okay, and Squidward, still panicking, jumps in without hesitation. This is where the adventure begins.
That looks like the roomiest time travel machine ever. That looked like somebody grew at my house. I'm sorry, dude. I would go there and expect cookies.
First, he tries to go to the past and overshoots, ends up in prehistoric Bikini Bottom, where cavemen
How was
versions
you
of
supposed to
SpongeBob
time
and
that, though?
Patrick greet him. This is the second weird thing. Squidward catches a jellyfish in frustration, and they copy him. Just like that, jellyfishing is born. Is Squidward the founder of jellyfishing? which is ironic since we all know Squidward really hates jellyfishing in the future. This is a canon event, but unfortunately, prehistoric Patrick and SpongeBob are not fans of his clarinet solo. They go feral and chase him down, and in the panic, Squidward breaks the time machine's lever and boom!
It's like I'm following, but I'm not following. This video is 17 minutes long, so you're gonna have to. You gotta really hit something soon where I can. The whole rundown of the episode.
He's not in the past. He's not in the future. He's nowhere. A blank white void, no water, no sound except echoing versions of his own voice bouncing back at him. He liked it at first because he could finally be alone.
And then he immediately started losing his mind.
Alone. Alone. But the longer he stays, the more his voice glitches. His words double up. His mind spirals. His isolation gets amplified, and the only thing he wants after all this time is to go home. After a few good stomps, he finds the time machine again. He screams for the machine to listen, and it does. It takes him back. The machine listens, without any lever or instructions, just because he asked. Which is strange, right? It just works, like it knows it has to close the loop. And then we get one more final moment. Squidward steps out of the time machine, back to Conch Street, back to normal. Then comes the final punch, with Patrick and SpongeBob asking him to go jellyfishing again, and this...
Who's the barnacle head who invented that game anyway?
You are, Squidward!
Which is terrifying, because how do they know? Do prehistoric memories echo forward? Did they inherit it? Or has the loop already restarted and no one remembers the first version except him? On the surface, SB-129 looks like just...
That part kind of makes sense on some, like, Spider-Man No Way Home shit. How, like, no one remembers that he's Spider-Man, but, like, he remembers everybody else type shit. So, like, yeah, I'm getting there. We're getting there.
Just another goofy SpongeBob time travel episode. Squidward jumps too far into the future, too far into the past, gets stuck in a void, and then somehow comes back home. Simple enough. Except it's not. Because once you actually line up what's happening, too many details don't add up, too many moments feel wrong. Like, something about this timeline broke and no one ever fixed it. So, I went deep, and what I found wasn't just an explanation. It might just be the real reason Squidward is the way he is.
Okay,
but to get there, we need to unpack this mystery piece by piece. So, we're breaking it into 3 parts. For the first part, we have to explain the paradox of 2 Squidwards. The first
There's still 12 minutes left in this video. Yeah, I don't know if it's like my ADHD or something. But it's like part of me don't want to finish this video. We gonna keep going though. We're gonna keep watching though.
First weird thing is Squidward gets frozen in the Krusty Krab for 2,000 years. Then, after his time-hopping meltdown, he returns to the present.
Okay.
SpongeBob, Patrick!
But here's the issue. We never saw present Squidward unfreeze himself from the freezer, or anything happen to him. Because unless the timeline erased itself, which it didn't, that frozen Squidward should still be there. Which means there are now 2 versions of him in the same timeline. One who's been through a metaphysical journey across time and space, and one who's still just sitting in a freezer, completely unaware.
Okay.
That's a paradox. And this show almost never plays with that kind of timeline logic, which is part of why this episode always felt so off. It was only later in season 7 they brought up another time travel episode, Back to the Past. The episode where SpongeBob and Patrick go into early Bikini Bottom.
I remember that.
Using a time travel machine from Mermaid Man's secret laboratorium. This episode indicates that it is possible in Bikini Bottom to have two different timeline characters at one place.
Yeah, because they did the whole thing where they just kept spawning.
To change the course of history because in the episode, they do change history. Patrick eats all the tartar sauce, which prevents Mermaid Man from ever capturing Man Ray, and Man Ray later dominates the whole world in the present day. This also means the first episode of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy from Season 1 never happens, because Man Ray never gets frozen in the tartar sauce. This detail actually explains why Squidward never gets defroze in SB-129. You see, when future Squidward returns at the end of the episode, they do realize that there is another Squidward frozen in the Krusty Krab's freezer, even Squidward himself. But they intentionally never thought it, because doing that would break the timeline he accidentally created, one where jellyfishing exists. Yeah, we're going there. Jellyfishing exists because Squidward brought it to the past, even though he only learned it from...
So are we going with the timeline of that, like, the original SpongeBob is erased, and then SpongeBob is living in this alternate universe where Squidward...
Future. Which means...
I'm not there.
This is canon. Squidward invented jellyfishing. That's a bootstrap paradox, a time loop with no beginning. And that's the poetic horror of it. He tried to run from the things he hated most, only to realize he was the one who started them. So they let him freeze there for 2,000 years, let history stay intact, even if it means freezing a version of him in time forever. But that still doesn't explain the weirdest moment in the future. Because after 2,000 years, when Squidward wakes up, SpongeTron looks at him and says,
I am SpongeTron. Welcome to the future.
Like he was expecting him. By now we've established two things. One, time travel is real in Bikini Bottom. And two, the timeline remembers. And if the future SpongeBob descendants know Squidward was coming, that raises a new question. Did they pass along the words to their descendants? And that brings us to the second part of the theory. Not about Squidward, but about the immortals who never left. Let's get scientific for a second. Sea sponges can live up to thousands of years in the deep ocean. One of the big reasons is that they're what scientists call clonal species, organisms that continually regenerate. Some parts die off, others grow back. It's not exactly immortality, but it's close. And it gets even better. Weirder in this case. They thrive in cold environments, grow slowly, and don't burn through energy fast, which is what the bottom of the sea is. It means SpongeBob didn't just survive 2,000 years in the sea, he evolved too. This theory is also backed up in episode Pressure. SpongeBob casually mentions he can reproduce by budding, which is not a joke. It's a real thing sponges do. But what about Patrick? Starfish like Patrick, they can regrow limbs, and in some species a whole new body. He also mentions this in episode Karate Star. This also explains why Patrick has two heads in the future. So by the time we get to the future in SB-129, those SpongeBob and Patrick aren't descendants, they're clones. Versions of SpongeBob and Patrick who have been replicating themselves for thousands of years, possibly with the same consciousness, passed along each time. Which raises an even bigger question. If SpongeBob and Patrick can live forever, regenerating and reliving, are they even aware they're clones anymore? Have they passed along some kind of collective memory? Or are they just performing the loop because it's all they've ever known? Because here's what that means for SB-129. Squidward wakes up after 2,000 years, dazed and confused, but SpongeTron, he's calm, fully sentient, and when Squidward asks to go home, SpongeTron doesn't even question it. Like he's seen this before, like he's been expecting this moment. That event isn't random, because he was indeed expecting it. Because they've lived it over and over and over again. It could also explain why Patrick shows up in perfect timing, because he knows Squidward will be there. That's the actual timeline for this episode. But that still leaves one last mystery.
Nigga, I'm still lost. I'm still lost as fuck. You know what, chat? I hate to do this, but I'm so lost that I can't finish the video and there's still 7 minutes left. So with that being said, I'm going to leave this one here. I'm so fucking confused, bro. What the fuck is going on? Like, I still don't understand what's going on. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to watch the original video, I put every time I react to a video. If you check the comment or check the description, the original video creator is always in there. So if you do want to go watch this video and you understand it, it's in the description, bro. But yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.